Think about someone you know. Maybe it is a close friend or a family member, or perhaps someone you went to school with who is completely absent from social media. No Instagram posts and no Facebook updates, no TikToks and no stories. They might have an account just to watch others, or maybe they do not even have that. When you ask them why they are not active, they give you some version of the same answer. They say, "I just do not feel the need," or "it is not really my thing," or "I prefer to keep my life private." You nod and you move on, but somewhere in the back of your mind, you find yourself wondering what is actually going on with them. Are they hiding something, or are they depressed? Are they just deeply introverted? Or is there something about them that the rest of us endlessly scrolling and posting and curating have not yet figured out? Here is what I have discovered after looking deep into the psychology of this behavior. The person who does not post on social media is not simply someone who forgot to download the app. They are operating from a psychological framework that is fundamentally different from the majority of people today. Once you understand what that framework actually looks like, it might make you question everything about your own relationship with the screen in your pocket. It might make you wonder if you are the one who is actually missing out. Let us start with what social media posting is actually about at a psychological level. Most people think they post to share memories or to stay connected or to document their lives. On the surface, that is true, but research tells a more complicated story. A study published in the journal Computers and Human Behavior found that one of the primary motivators behind social media posting is what psychologists call impression management. This is the deeply human need to control how others perceive us. Every photo we post, and every caption we write, and every story we share is in some way a carefully constructed signal to the world about who we are and what our life looks like and how we want to be seen. We are not just sharing moments. We are curating an identity, and we are seeking something in return. We want validation and connection and relevance. We want proof that we exist and that our existence matters to other people. We have become the directors of our own personal reality shows, but in the process, we have forgotten how to just live. Now, here is what makes people who do not post so psychologically interesting. They have either consciously or unconsciously opted out of that system entirely. They have decided that their value is not determined by a like button. The reasons why they do this fall into several distinct psychological profiles that we need to examine closely. The first profile is what researchers call a high need for privacy and autonomy. Some people have an unusually strong sense of boundaries around their inner world and their personal life. For them, posting a photo does not feel like sharing. It feels like exposure. It feels like handing something intimate over to an audience that has not earned it. These are often people with a strong internal sense of self who do not require external validation to feel secure in who they are. They know what they did on their vacation, and they do not need 300 likes to confirm that it was meaningful. They understand that a beautiful sunset is just as beautiful, even if no one else sees a photo of it. Their value is self-generated rather than crowdsourced. The second profile is rooted in social anxiety and fear of judgment. This is more common than most people realize. For many non-posters, it is not that they do not want to share, but it is that the vulnerability of sharing feels genuinely threatening. We live in a world where a single post can be picked apart and criticized by thousands. What if nobody responds? What if the post performs badly? What if people judge the photo or the location or the life? The potential for public rejection, even in its mildest digital form, is enough to keep them permanently silent. So they watch, and they scroll, and they consume, but they never contribute because contributing means being seen, and being seen means being evaluated. That is a risk their nervous system is not willing to take. They have chosen safety over visibility. The third profile is perhaps the most psychologically evolved. These are people who have developed what researchers call autonomy from external validation. Studies on self-determination theory show that human beings have a fundamental psychological need for competence and connection and autonomy. Most social media users are meeting their need for connection and confidence through posting and receiving feedback. But people in this third group have found ways to meet those needs entirely offline. They build their competence through deep relationships and meaningful work, and a stable internal sense of identity that does not require an audience. They are not absent from social media because something is wrong with them. They are absent because they have found something more sustaining than likes. They are busy living the life that others are busy photographing. Let us think about the impact this has on mental health. A landmark study from the University of Pennsylvania found that reducing social media use to just 10 minutes per day led to significant reductions in loneliness and depression. Another study found that passive social media consumption, like scrolling without posting, was consistently linked to lower well-being and higher rates of social comparison and envy. When you are always watching the highlight reels of others, it is impossible not to feel like your own life is falling short. The people who are not posting are also, in most cases, not endlessly consuming either. That absence of constant comparison quietly protects their mental health in ways they may not even fully realize. They are not constantly checking their phones to see if they are good enough, because they already know they are. There is one more thing I want to say about this. In a world where the pressure to perform your life online has never been greater, we see people photograph their food before they eat it. We see holidays planned around photo opportunities rather than relaxation. Moments are increasingly experienced through a screen rather than through the senses. We have become observers of our own lives instead of participants. In this environment, choosing not to post is quietly becoming one of the most radical acts of psychological self-preservation available to us. It is a rebellion against the digital noise. It is saying this moment is mine and mine alone. I do not need to share it to make it real. I do not need your validation to know that my life has value. Think about the last time you saw something truly beautiful. Did you reach for your phone, or did you just breathe it in? The people who do not post have chosen to breathe it in. They have realized that the camera lens often acts as a barrier between us and the world. When we are focused on getting the right angle, we lose the right feeling. We lose the scent of the air and the sound of the wind and the connection with the person standing next to us. The people who do not post on social media are not missing out on life. In many ways, the research supports this. They have already figured out something the rest of us are still learning. They have realized that a life lived fully does not need an audience. They understand that the most beautiful parts of being human are often the parts that no one else ever sees. They value their own opinion of their life more than the opinion of a stranger on the internet. While the world is busy chasing digital applause, these individuals are finding peace in the silence. They are choosing presence over performance and reality over curation. They are building a kingdom of memories that exists only in their minds and in the hearts of those who were actually there with them. Perhaps it is time we stop asking what is wrong with them and start asking what we can learn from them. Perhaps it is time we all try to live a little more for ourselves and a little less for the screen. Because at the end of the day, the only person who truly needs to like your life is you.